Welcome back, Charlie here. This couple has been living happily inside a sewer for 22 years. Everyone made fun of them and assumed they lived a miserable life, until they looked inside this couple's home. Sewer house. Meet Miguel Restrepo and Maria Garcia. They live in Medellin, Colombia. This couple don't live in a house, but they're not homeless. Instead of living on the street, they live under the street. For 22 years, this couple has been living in a sewer. But how did they get here? They lived on the mean streets of Medellin. Medellin is known for violence and narcotics trafficking. It's even the hometown of the most dangerous criminal in history, Pablo Escobar. This couple lived day by day, but eventually they realized that their addiction was ruining their lives. And if they didn't stop soon, then they would not be alive for much longer. So together they decided to quit. They realized they could not quit if they lived on the streets, surrounded by other addicts. But they had no money to get a place to live, and no family to give them a home. So they decided to think outside the box and make the sewers their home. They were able to get away from all of the other addicts out on the street, and they finally had a safe place to call their own, even if it was very dank, dirty, and smelly. Amazingly, their plan worked and this couple got clean. Over the years, they began to make their sewer home pretty cozy. They were very humble people who never had much, so it was very easy for them to get everything they would ever need. Their home has electricity, light, heat, and even a kitchen too. Eventually, they stopped sleeping on the hard floor and got a comfortable mattress. And soon, they even adopted a street dog named Blackie. That's right, they brought a dog out of homelessness despite being homeless themselves. People on the street are sometimes shocked when they look down and see a couple living in the sewers. But as soon as they look inside their home, they realize it's not bad at all. They have pretty much anything they could ever want or need. They worked super hard to create a cozy, livable home with no money at all. And the couple say they have no intention of ever leaving their home. Sadly, most homeless people in Colombia don't live for very long. They may be victims of violence, or pass away because of their addictions. But thankfully, Miguel and Maria got away from all of that. For the last 22 years, they have been happy in their sewer home. Next time you're sad about not having a big enough room or house, think of this couple. Instead of being sad about what they don't have, they're super grateful for what they do have. And they made the best out of their very difficult situation. At Christmas, they decorate the inside of their sewer home to make it festive. They do this every single Christmas. Maria says that when she was living on the streets, the holidays were the hardest time for her. She was alone with no family, no food, and no festivities. But now they can decorate their sewer home and make it as festive as they want. And now she has her life partner Miguel to share every holiday with. You may wonder, how do these people ever leave their home without getting robbed? After all, they have a TV and other electronics inside their house. Well, when Miguel and Maria leave their home, they leave their dog Blackie in charge. Blackie acts as a guard dog for the house. He makes sure that no one goes into their sewer home to rob them. Miguel says that even if they won the lottery, they would not leave their sewer home. He says they have everything they need underground. And above all else, Miguel says that as long as they have each other, they are happy and content. The couple say they're most happy for their sobriety. They both say that if they never met each other, then today they would be dead. It took the love and support of the other person for both of them to get clean. And now these two live a healthy and happy life despite living in a sewer. Miguel and Maria are the perfect example of people who are happy for what they do have, instead of focusing on what they don't. I think we can all learn a lot from this couple. Vortex home. I know what you're thinking. A missile must have hit this house. Well, that's what many neighbors thought when this house was built. This is known as the Hole House. It is found in Houston, Texas. It was built by two men, Dan Havel and Dean Ruck. They created the house in 2005. It's made from two houses that were supposed to be demolished. But instead, these guys did something creative and made a vortex house. When the house was built, many laughed and said it looked ridiculous. But the house soon became fairly popular in the area, and now people come from all around to see this house. It does look like the house is being sucked away into a black hole. But the amazing design actually has a function. The hole connects the two houses. If you walk through it, then you'll go into a courtyard. And this connects the two houses together. I think the inversion house is one of the all-time best houses ever made. It's basically a piece of art that you can live inside. Sadly, the house has been vandalized a few times with graffiti. Even though people laughed at this house at first, they soon grew to love it. It became a local landmark. And although the design is weird and confusing, it is unique. Down in the dumps. If you thought living in a sewer was too clean, then check out this guy who lives in a dumpster. New York City is one of the most expensive places to live. A tiny apartment costs thousands of dollars a month. So that's why Greg Clowen decided to live inside a dumpster. It is a tiny 6 feet, but it's an environmentally friendly and sustainable house. It even has windows so you can see the outside world. The dumpster has the amenities of a luxury apartment. It has a bar, sink, stove, and toilet. Outside, it has a shower, barbecue, minibar, and a deck. When Greg made this dumpster house, many people laughed. They thought it was crazy and said no one would ever live in a dumpster. But soon, Greg's dumpster idea caught on. Greg decided to move out and rent the dumpster to other people. You can now rent this dumpster for $1,200 per month, or $200 per night. Would you pay that much money to live inside a dumpster? It sounds crazy, but in New York, it's a pretty good deal. The dumpster's on wheels, meaning that you can live in even the most expensive places. If you do live here, then make sure the garbage men know this is a house and not a dumpster. Otherwise, you could be taking a trip to the junkyard. I don't think you'd survive getting emptied inside a garbage truck. Starburst house. This house looks like a star exploding. If stars were made of shipping containers, that is. This is known as the Starburst house. It is located in the Joshua Tree National Park in California. The containers linked together are supposed to look like an exploding star. Now, you may think no one would want to live in this house, but someone actually bought it for $3.5 million, and they bought it before it was even built. It was purchased by the movie producer Chris Hanley. He made the movies American Psycho and Spring Breakers. When he dropped $3.5 million on this house, many people laughed at him, but I think Chris had the last laugh. This house looks absolutely amazing, and you get great views too. There are dozens of windows all around the house, meaning that you get a 360-degree view around your home. Is this a crazy and dumb purchase made by a millionaire? Or is this house kind of genius? Dome house. The world is a dangerous place. There are lots of things right now that could harm you. For example, global pandemics, Russia causing World War III, or climate change destroying the world. That is the inspiration behind this house. This home is known as the geodesic dome. This new and modern type of house is pretty interesting. They're very cheap, meaning that it solves the housing crisis. Governments could easily pay for homeless people to move in, and they're also climate resistant too. This means it works in pretty much any climate, whether it's boiling hot or freezing cold. Every dome has its own kitchen, shower, and bathroom. It has pretty much everything you'd find in a modern home, all inside a very cheap dome. These domes only cost $100 to $300. I might have to buy a few of these and make a dome mega mansion. Airplane home. Do you have a fear of flying? Well, then you'd better not move into this house. Bruce Campbell lives inside an airplane. Bruce is a retired engineer. When he retired, he bought an abandoned Boeing 727 plane. He then took out the inside and made it his house. The plane is found in a forest in Portland, Oregon. Bruce did not want a mortgage, and he bought this plane pad for just $200,000. That's a pretty good deal because this plane is gigantic. Many people laughed at Bruce and said he was crazy for living inside a plane, but the inside honestly looks pretty cool. If I'm ever in the area, I might have to ask Bruce if I can crash inside his plane. But now it's time for you to make your voice heard. Comment down below which of these houses you would want to live in the most. If you want to see some short videos by me, then check out my second channel. But as always, thanks for watching. I've been Charlie. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, then what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.